This is Elemental Hero Neos, the most popular forgotten monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! And whoops, there he goes. I guess we have a new one instead. Wow, he's green now! Okay, let me start from the very beginning. Though I'm pretty sure a good amount of you roughly know the story of Elemental Hero Neos. I almost wouldn't have made a video about it at all, but there are some funny recent updates that I figured I'd bring up. So, Elemental Hero Neos is one of the main fusion monsters of the Neo-Spacian archetype, a deck that revolves around Elemental Hero Neos who confuse with the various members of a Neo-Spacian race. They've had their time in the spotlight and a handful of reprints, all except for Neos. For whatever reason, this monster hasn't received any recent reprints, which normally wouldn't be cause for a conspiracy, but the situation even extends to the digital games of Duel Links and Master Duel, where despite being a monster from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era, it is suspiciously absent. Add in the fact that a recent support spell card features artwork that is a direct reference to a scene from the anime opening and is a near-perfect recreation aside from Neos being absent. From all of this, it almost feels like they're actively avoiding using this monster whenever they can. And the craziest part is that we just do not know why, because being absent from the current digital card game is definitely noticeable, but it's not like this was an extremely important monster anyway. Because if like, I don't know, Gaia the Fierce Knight wasn't in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, then yeah, everybody would notice and there'd be cause for concern. Neos isn't really one of those really popular monsters, though it actually was the cover card of Strike of Neos. It just so happened that several fans noticed that it never got a reprint and that it now isn't available in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so it started feeling weird. But there's been no official statement regarding Neos, which has led to some conspiracy theories. The most believable is that it has something to do with the artwork. One train of thought claims that Neos supposedly resembles a pre-existing character from another franchise which the artist may have plagiarized, and that's why it doesn't appear anywhere. But that claim immediately falls apart because nobody has ever been able to identify what it may have been. I mean, this is a pretty unique design and it's meant to be a fusion between Neos and Air Hummingbird, both of which are not experiencing the same problem. You can definitely tell that this monster was meant to be a fusion from its inception. It would kind of be the same logic as looking at Black Skull Dragon and saying that that was supposedly plagiarized from something else. It's a fusion monster that very clearly uses elements of the two monsters used to make it. Also, the anime episodes that Neos appears in are still on the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Website. Other dubbed anime have removed episodes from their library for much less. Though I could definitely see there being some kind of issue with the base artwork itself or with the artist who originally drew it. See, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of the only trading card games that does not credit the artist directly on the card. In fact, it's really difficult to find out who created any of the art used on these cards, aside from the ones drawn by Takahashi himself. So with the fact that the names of these artists are never shared publicly, I could imagine there's some other kind of dispute that's happened behind the scenes. Again, Konami, Shueisha, Studio Dice have never made a public official statement. So that's about where the trail stopped 2 years ago. And now over in Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels, they're bringing many of the Neo-Spacian cards like they've been doing with many other legacy monsters. However, while they're still maintaining the gimmick of contact fusions, the fusion monsters themselves are totally brand new. Like rather than bringing in Aqua Neos and Flare Neos, they instead have Pulse Neos and Heat Neos. They do look cool, but it's interesting that their designs are staying a lot closer to the base form of Neos, instead of completely changing colors like the originals. And so this week we've finally gotten Elemental Hero Sky Neos, which is the Air Hummingbird fusion. With the first two monsters being the way they are, it was obvious that the Air Attribute one would go with the same design philosophy, but it is curious that they decided to create brand new cards instead of adding in the old ones. Is it related to the mystery behind Air Neos? Are they making the designs closer to the original Neos because that's the design they definitively own? Or did they just want to make brand new monsters with new effects in order to give the deck a new life in the other card game? Well, yeah, it's probably the last one. But maybe there is hope, because a few weeks ago there was a form that duelists could fill out to vote for a card that they would want to see get a quarter-century rare reprint. And while that form is no longer open, so I can't use this video as a way to rally up votes, I am so proud of this community for basically thinking the exact same thing in the replies. Gosh, I really hope everybody spamming pictures of Air Neos actually filled out the form, otherwise we're cooked. Well, that's just about where things stand with Elemental Hero Neos. Honestly, one of the craziest little conspiracies in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom, because the longer the situation goes on, the more I start to believe something really weird is going on. It would honestly be easily solved if they just put out some kind of official statement, but for now, all we can do is hope. So let me know what you think about the story of Neos in the comments below with your own conspiracy theories, or let me know if you're just ready to jump over into Rush Duels, because that's where they're getting all the cool cards. Anyway, this is GatorX, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.